real high-class bout. It's on! It's on!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Arsenal X, where we throw up the X. Because we're about to throw down. This is episode 97. I am one of your hosts, Corey Dierig, and alongside me, as always, is the wise Wisconsinite, Jesse Douglas.
How's it going?
How are you doing, Jesse?
I'm doing pretty good. A little tired, but I'm doing good.
Yeah, this was quite the weekend. I'm not gonna lie to you. Between yesterday and today and just everything, like it's just, man, it's been a weekend. So
Yeah, especially we both of us having family and stuff that we try to do stuff with as much as possible, and we recorded yesterday did our Black Lives Matter panel and stuff, and then it was like I was doing stuff and hanging out with the family a little bit, and it felt like we're already recorded doing our other stuff. Then later, we did a 1v1 with comedian Stu McAllister, which you will probably be seeing, I think, next week. So
yeah, it's next Friday's episode. This Friday is Delvin, and then next Friday will be Stu. Dude, we have so many lined up, so many 1v1s lined up that it's probably going to be every week for the foreseeable future. Like, I think our original plan was to do it every other week, and then we just started doing it once a month because, people's schedules, and we were doing other projects, and honestly couldn't book a guest a couple weeks, so... now we have so many. Like we have Carl, we have Cammy Jace, we have BUHQ now. Apparently, as of like 5 minutes ago, we have a bunch of people that are willing to come on the show, and that's awesome. So I think we're gonna Battlebug, Insipid Ghosts we need to get on too. Like it's. Mm-hmm. I think it's cool. Fridays are going to be full of feeds, so I'm excited. I'm really excited for that. So, but like you said, and I'm sure everybody listening to this show probably already saw an episode pop up in their feed as well, because I threw them up. I threw the episode up on every feed that we have because I think it was important, even though it was technically an episode of the Boss Rush podcast. It's on every feed. We did the Black Lives Matter panel, put on by Ed and Zombie Kills, and we had Cam Hawkins from Dual Shockers on, Carl MF, which if you listen to Nintendo Pal Block, heard his voice. Then he's a YouTuber. Go follow him, please. He's such an underrated YouTuber. Like I can't understate how fun his content is. Did you watch some of it, right? Like his his Skill Attack review was awesome, and his Minecraft Dungeons one was funny, and his modern or his Warzone one and his Apex stuff. Like it's just, he's great. Go check him out, please. It's just Carl MF. His page is featured on our sidebar of our YouTube page. If you go through the Nintendo Pal Block feed, he's on the last episode and his links are there. Like, just go follow him. He's so awesome. Well, follow everybody on the episode, obviously, but he's kind of newer to the YouTube scene, and I just we try to encourage people to follow our newer friends, so which he'll probably be on an episode of this show as well coming up, and maybe you'll see a lot more of him through Boss Rush content in the near future. We're chatting about it, so he's a great dude. I can't put his content out there enough. It was awesome to have him on, and John Tyler Starr's 1v1 went up this week. I know it kind of probably got lost a little bit in the shuffle of the Black Lives Matter panel and book club stuff, right? But you know, that was also another great interview that I was really intently listening and had no idea what to ask, because I mean, I wasn't really a part of the episode because of that, but you know, it was really interesting to hear that. And you know, we've got a lot of stuff going on, and it's fun. It's so much fun seeing all this stuff come together, and people reaching out, and people just having a good time, you know. And I think you know, the the elephant in the room kind of is the Black Lives Matter stuff going on in the world. And I know you went to a protest, Jesse, and you know, I was trying to figure out what, you know, personally I could do, and I thought about making like a little, like a mini episode podcast about it, and then I was like, that's not right. And then I was like, maybe I'll make like a 5-minute video about it, how I feel. And then I'm like, nobody cares how I feel. I'm a white guy, right? Nobody cares how I feel. So I thought, and you know, you and I thought, and Ed kind of really was thankful, right? Like, our friends that, and you know, even people that we don't know really need a voice. And we're fortunate enough to, at least on the audio side, to have a platform for their voices to be heard, right? We have a really great audio listening community, I guess would be the right word. And like, I was nervous. Like, I reached out to a bunch of people. I know Ed reached out to a few people, and like, I didn't think I was going to get any responses, right? Because I didn't know if they were just going to be like, this is another white guy trying to capitalize, like he's doing something, you know, for the black community to get score points or whatever. And like, that's not what I wanted, right? And but we got a lot of responses to the point where like, we might do another one next month, and because we had so many good responses, right? Like, I know Cammie, Jason, Delvin kind of, you know, we're busy, but they wanted to do it, right? And I would like to have Carl back on to share some more of his feelings. You know, if Ray wants to do it, like, I would love to have him on. I know he's going through I know he's kind of taking it harder than a lot of people that I've seen recently. Like, his video that he posted, I feel so bad that I can't understand what they're going through right now. But on the other hand, it's like, it's so awesome to see, like, maybe this time the world is changing, you know, maybe this time. And, you know, we try to say, like, play games, be better, right? Like, that's our motto. Like, be better is a big part of that. And I think, like, we've done a decent job of being positive and staying positive about stuff. And regardless of, you know, sex or orientation or race or gender or whatever, like, I think we've done a pretty good job of supporting our friends without trying too hard. But at the same time, after this, it's like, I don't think that it can stop with just this one panel and we wipe our brow of it and say we did our part, right? I feel like we need to, like, have more women on the show. We need to have more people of color on the show. We need to have more representation on the show, whether it's this show or Boss Rush or Nintendo Power Block or 1v1 or streams or you know, standard definition or whatever, right? Like, I think and I think we know enough people to where we can make that happen on a regular occurrence, right?
Well, and you know, and like, I think, you know, not only that, but like, you know, even when we don't have someone on or whatever, I mean, you know, like, the big thing that like, I'm trying to be more aware of, and like, I'm bad at social media and all that stuff, like, there, and, you know, like, trying to stay on top of things and stuff like that. But like, this last week, I've probably been doing stuff on social media more than I have in a long time. Like, and just trying to, like even just, like just retweeting certain things that people need to know about, or, because there's so many people that have their story, of, like what life's been like, as a person of color, and, reading those things and listening to them and trying to get, help get those voices out there. Like, even just doing that stuff more often and trying to, like, and I understand like, it was hard for me. I didn't even know that I would be able to go, to one of the protests, but, I just got really lucky that, I was going into work early enough that, the police station, our city police station, is basically like a block and a half away from my work, and that's where they were starting the protests, and then they were gonna walk from there down to the College Avenue, and then just go down our College Avenue, and kind of, just going all the way down and back. And so I was able to, I'm like, you know what, I got a little time. I wanted to get done, with work a little bit earlier, but this is important, and I got an opportunity to go and listen to some of these people, and, and like what they have to say and stuff. And so I'm like, this will be a good experience for me, and just show my support and stuff like that. And so I went to it, and like, I'm so glad I did, because like the people that were there and that were kind of had set up the protests, and were talking about things and stuff, like, there were some amazing people that I was really, honored to be able to get to listen to them speak and stuff. And and like, there was, at one point, there was a white woman or a younger girl that was that didn't agree with something they said or whatever, and they didn't get violent, they didn't get, they just said, hey, like, let me tell you, what I have to say about this, and then I will, I'll let you speak your part on it. And so, like, it was just a really good experience, because you had people there that maybe were the kind of people that they were hoping they could be talking to, the people that aren't 100% understanding of what's exactly going on,
Yeah.
Because too many times people like to focus on, the rioting and all that stuff, and unfortunately, those people are nothing but opportunists who a lot of the times are the people that are, keeping, black people oppressed. Like, they're there doing that, trying to take away from the message and trying to sabotage it, and like, basically, be the people that go and do that stuff, and they hide behind a mask, and then probably go to their friends and say, see, look, they're out there breaking things and looting and stuff, and like, try to just completely spin the message. And unfortunately, one of the people that got caught doing that stuff ended up, his ex-wife turned him in. He was a cop. It was a cop out there smashing stuff on purpose and then just leaving. And so he could, escalate the situation, and, thought he would get away with it because he had like a full grade, like, military style gas mask on and stuff, that covers your whole entire face and all that. But he, luckily his ex-wife, noticed the gloves he was wearing in the gas mask, she knew that he had that one exactly like that and had gloves exactly like what he was wearing. So she's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was my ex-husband who is a cop, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just such a messed up time. And you know, like, and just that stuff, you know, like people, like social media has been such a big help during this, just in general, from, you know, like I said, people getting their voices out to helping, you know, like find these people like that are trying to destroy things and trying to, you know, stop good things from continuing to be positive. You know, so you know, like I think social media has really been actually really important lately.
Useful for once.
yeah, for something good.
Yeah. So I mean, I just, you know, if there's anyone out there that wants to talk about this and needs to talk about it and you don't know where to go, like, we're here, you know, like this community is positive for the most part. There's a lot of people that will help you or talk to you. And, you know, even if you want to be on our next panel, which I think Ed and I were talking, like, we want to do something like this at least once a month for the foreseeable future, right? Like, maybe not like a Black Lives panel, but like if you're gay or if you're, you know, having trouble with something in your life, like just once a month, like we want to have a panel where people can talk about how they're feeling or doing, and you know, and if you want to talk about games, obviously you're more than welcome to come on anytime too. Like we put a thing out on Twitter every week, every weekend, and if you want to guest, just comment. Like if you're new to the space, if we've never heard of you, if you're big, if you're small, like, we want to have you on. Like, it's not, you know, it's just a Skype call and we talk and hang out. And this show and Boss Rush are more just like hang out and conversational type shows. And I mean, Pow Block's a little bit different, but I think that we're just stuck in our ways of doing it that way. But not that Ed and I don't have great, you know, tangent conversations all the time, but you know what I mean? Like,
we're always going to have those.
So, I mean, yeah, I feel like we can't just sit here again and be like, you know, for a week and a half or 2 weeks, like, and then when the next thing comes, we just forget about it, right? We have to we have to keep going. We have to keep doing things. And sometimes I get sad because, like, I don't know what to say, and it seems like part of our friends, like, at least in my feed, they want us as white people to help and stand by them and say things and retweet and say what they're feeling and stuff. And it seems like the other part is struggling with that idea because we don't know how they feel. We don't. Like, I won't ever have to explain to my kid that it's dangerous because your skin's not light enough, right? I mean, honestly, I was talking to my brother and sister-in-law the other day because they adopted 2 black kids, right? And like we were talking, and like we were having that conversation of like, how are you gonna have that discussion with them one day? Like, because they're gonna have to have that very hard, very real discussion someday. And like, you know, I think, you know, part of the reason why we did the panel this Saturday, like for me at least, is like my one nephew's getting old enough to where he's going to start watching. I mean, he already does watch a lot of YouTube, but like he's going to start watching other things than like, you know, oh, let's, you know, what's that kid, that really popular kid YouTuber, I forget what his name is, like Ryan something.
Oh, Ryan, yeah. Ryan's Toy Review channel or whatever.
Yeah, and, you know, he's going to start learning what Twitch is, and he's going to start learning what he already wants to, like, he comes every time he comes over, he sees my setup. He's like, I want to do a podcast, and like I've thought about doing like a small YouTube channel with him because I know that's what he wants to do. I mean, he's 7. I don't know how long he'll want to do it, right? Like, you know how kids are. Their attention spans is like, oh, something shiny over here. But But at the same time, like, I think this panel yesterday was important. I think our 1v1s with people other than white people are important, and I want them to someday see, whether this is we're still doing this in 10 years or not, like when they're old enough and see this, and I want them to have people to look up to and people to aspire to be. And I think we've done a pretty decent job of finding friends who have goals and want to send people that message, So, I mean, I just, I would love to get more people of color on our show, and I would love to get more women on the show. I would love to get, people of the gay community on the show. That I would love to do more of that, and we're gonna start. Right, we've brought Megan on as a community manager and social media manager. We brought Deshaun on as a community and social media manager. Like, they're gonna be handling that stuff as well as us, also obviously. But like, that's why they were brought on. They don't want to be on camera. They don't want a podcast. They just want to help us succeed and find people and do that part, which is so important to have people that want to do that part too. I can't understand how helpful they've been too, right? Like, just bringing Deshaun on and him tweeting at Khalif Adams of Spawn on Me, right? He was in our chat. Like, he retweeted the show, and we had upwards of, like, at one point across all 3 channels, I think we had almost 60 people watching, which is incredible, right? Like, I think that was, you and I were modding the Twitch chat, and Megan was doing the Mixer chat, and Deshaun was doing the YouTube chat. But like, we were all kind of like working together as a mod team, and it was important that they felt safe, and I think they did, and I think they had a voice, and I really encourage people to go watch that panel. It's on all of our podcast feeds. It's on our YouTube channel. It's pinned on our Twitch channel. It's pinned at the top of our website. Go watch the panel. It was for me, it was very educational, very, and it wasn't like, I think the way they approached it was really good too, because they were talking about the positivities about the things that have come out of this very negative thing, right? So everybody, I encourage you to go watch it. I think what they did was really cool and special and awesome, and honestly, I can't wait to do something like that again, like really produce a show and really I think I could have done a couple of things different and a couple of things better, but obviously you and I were on a learning experience too, learning how to mod a chat instead of just talking, and me like making sure like the frames lined up, which I couldn't get them to line up because a couple people were, I mean, not their fault, but like the like when you get more than 3 or 4 people into the Skype call, the dimensions of the windows change. So I had to change them on the fly, and I just made sure that they were fitting inside the white boxes instead. Like, and next time I'll know. But I was kind of honored and humbled that they said yes and were able to come on and do that. So thank you to everybody who participated. Thank you, Ed, for hosting. Thank you, Zombie, for co-hosting. Thank you, Carl, for being on. Thank you, Cam, and thank you, Tiffany, too. So thank you.
I definitely enjoyed just being a listener. Because like there, like we had, me and you were kind of saying, like that in our own text thing, we were talking about like like I didn't really know about that, and and I've always been a very big supporter of the Native American like people and stuff, and I've always been very outspoken about things, dealing with them, and I've always you know spoke out about, like, when I felt like people were doing wrong by them, or were saying or doing something that I didn't feel was okay or right. Like my great grandmother from my dad's side was Native American mostly, and so there's a big chunk of my dad's side of the family that definitely is part Native American, and technically I guess that I'm partially as well, but yeah, like, just since I was, like, I think like 6 years old or 7 years old, I think it was the first time that I went to a local, like, every once in a while, the Oneida Indians here have a powwow thing that they do that's open up to the public, and you can come and see them do their traditional dances and stuff like that. And ever since I was little, I was just completely, fascinated with their culture and learning about them and stuff. And then as I got older, I learned the very, very dark stuff, that they had to go through and that they still go through. Like, people get really mad in Michigan and stuff, and they're downright just destructive just because the Native Americans have the right to use certain fishing tactics that are considered illegal for anyone else to use. And people get really mad, and I guess there was people who literally had destroyed some of their fishing boats on purpose just because of it, because they were mad that they were allowed to do something that they're not. And it's like, well, yeah, I know it's a long time now, but still, I mean, this, we did come here to this place, basically murder them if they decided that they didn't want to believe in Jesus, and did awful things to them. We basically took their land for nothing.
Yeah.
And then we put Andrew Jackson on our money, who committed genocide against them, even though it was ruled against in the courts, that he wanted them, the Native Americans, to be moved from the land, and the courts denied it. And so he basically called for people to go out with their guns and whatever to basically drive them off the land, and do it themselves. And we've heard about the smallpox and blankets that they would give to them and pretend that they were giving them gifts, but they knew that there was smallpox on them because they wanted to kill them. And like, I mean, there's some really messed up stuff, and these are the kind of things that like what we're seeing in this Black Lives Matters stuff and all that. Like, there's some real dark, deep-seated things that exist still in this country, and people like you and me, and obviously the black people who are the ones who are suffering from these kinds of things that are going on here. We just want it to be done. Like, we don't want this stuff anymore. We do not think it's okay, and we never thought it was okay. And finally people are just really getting sick of it, and it's just been amazing, like how many people are really standing up to things. And like, in my lifetime, I've never seen these kind of things, these protests and stuff, and the level to where things are being done. I've never seen them in my personal life get to this point, and it's been really amazing. And like you said, like, I people though need to continue this. We can't just like slow down or back off, because if we do that, then it's just going to be something that happened that we just forget about once the next thing comes around. And, and like you said, like that's why we feel like we need to continue to do stuff on the show. And, like I feel like I need to continue to try to get my, like people's voices out there, even just on social media, or, like in real life, people that I maybe talk to or whatever that don't see things the way that I do, and try to explain things to them from my perspective, as a one white person to another, and things like that, talking to your family and things like that. So
Yeah.
it's not easy things, but it's also, it's the least, I feel like the least that we can do to try to help, just having a talk with people about these things. And, unfortunately to a lot of people, that feel a certain way about things that usually is the wrong way to feel. They usually don't want to hear things, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But all you can do is try. So
Yeah.
so yeah, like you said, I definitely want to do more of that stuff. And even if like two people that listened to our show or something, like made them change their ways, or see, they were able to understand something, that maybe they had questions about, or not, because I'm not saying that anyone that listens to us would be wrong, or feel the way that we don't agree with. But like, like there's a lot to learn about every culture that we're not a part of. Like,
Yeah.
there's so much to be learned. I mean, look at just like scientists and people who have been studying cultures that have existed thousands of years ago, that they're still always learning stuff. And
Yeah. I
and
mean,
we have the opportunity where we're living with cultures that still exist. So we should take that time, and not take it for granted that we have the opportunity to learn from people directly,
yeah.
like, and actually learn about stuff. And that's, it's always something I've been into. Like, I've never really cared so much like history class in school and stuff, because a lot of the stuff you learn in history, unfortunately, that's one side of a story that a lot of the times is kind of a joke, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I know.
Like,
I mean, the victors write history, right? I mean, that's always been true,
Yeah.
and
yeah,
I mean, look, I mean, talking about cultural differences, right? Like, I've learned so much just, I mean, not that it's anywhere near the same thing, but like, my wife is a Ukrainian Jew who, they fled from communist Russia to come live here when she was 3, right? Like, that was, like, it's always fascinating to learn about. Oh, I guess, like, for us, communist Russia is like this big part of history that we didn't really live through. I mean, part of it we did, but like, sometimes I kind of like went, don't tell my wife I really listened to her, but like, just to like hear what they went through to get here, and how like her mom and dad literally risked their lives and had like one suitcase, and like that fear and that time period is, we learn about it and just kind of like, oh, we took a test and we wrote it down on paper and then we move on to the next thing. Like, that's a very real thing for people, like, to live in fear of who's in charge, and not knowing if you're going to be able to get on that plane or that boat to get over here and alive, like, that's so scary that even like my wife and her family had to go through that too, and but at the same time, it's like, my kid might get made fun of for being Jewish at one point in her life, which I'm sure she will, but she can hide that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You can't hide your skin color.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, that's why it's very important to talk about this. And the one thing that, you know, a lot of people have said this online, but, you know, it doesn't mean I don't believe this either. Like, I think this the same way. Like, when people say all lives matter,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, well, no shit, right? Like, no shit, all
Mm-hmm.
lives matter. But, like, you have, obviously, there's people out there that don't think that. And so the black community obviously needs help making those people realize that all lives matter. That's why we're saying Black Lives
Mm-hmm.
Matter. Black Lives
Mm-hmm.
Matter. Everybody's life matters. All of their lives matter. Black Lives Matter. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why we did what we did yesterday. That's why, you know, that's why, like, I support Ed so wholeheartedly. I support our black friends. I support, you know, watching Ray's video on Twitter, like, had me so emotional. Like, I hate seeing our friends and our peers and our colleagues so upset, you know, over something that
Mm-hmm.
should be gone by now.
Yeah.
It should just be
Yeah.
done. Like, there's no reason for this.
Yeah.
But yet here we are. You know, there's
Yeah.
Confederate flags on cars in my neighborhood. Like,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
Trump signs everywhere of people who have Confederate flags in their yards, and, like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's just so hard. But
Yeah.
but honestly, at least from our friends on social media of all races and creeds, and seeing things happen on the news and things happen with you know, laws finally being changed and those cops being arrested, and
Mm-hmm.
took long enough, but, you know, it's a
Yeah.
baby step.
Yeah.
And that's why we need to keep doing what we did on Saturday, continue doing that, and do it.
Mm-hmm.
And not even until something changes. We need to keep doing it to make sure that change stays. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah,
Yeah, I know, and, like, you know, and I don't want to get political or anything, but, you know, like, the same people that are saying all lives matter, you know, and like you said, like, that yeah, obviously all lives should matter, and you know, but we need to focus on, you know, where there's issues, but it's like, you know, like, the thing is so many people, like to say things, but then they contradict it in their actions. And it's like, you know, like, those same people that you said with the Confederate flag, and I would love to say to their face, you know, you lost, get over it.
Mm-hmm.
Just like they did when, you know, like, when their beloved Trump won, and people were upset, and they would just tell everyone, you lost, get over it. Okay, well, if you're going to get upset that people are, you know, still talking about Hillary, even though she lost, and you're telling them to get over it, well, get rid of your rebel flag then, because you lost, get over it. You know?
yeah,
So it's just like, it's like, there is no reason for that anyways, because to me, that flag is un-American, and it's you know, it goes against, it's basically saying that you would rather have that flag instead of the one that we have now,
yeah,
because that doesn't exist anymore. And, like, what is it? It's I forget what state is it? No, not one of the Carolinas that actually still has a rebel flag in their state flag.
I think it's South. It's one of the Carolinas on their Capitol building still has it.
Okay. Well,
Like,
one of the
it's
one
called,
of the
like,
state flags is the rebel flag in the middle. It's like where the stars would be, and, like, the American flag.
Uh-huh.
They have a rebel flag there, and then the rest is something else for their state flag.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just blanking on it. I can't remember if it was Kentucky or something like that, but their state flag still technically has the rebel flag inside of it.
Yeah.
So it's just, like, and I know, like, it kind of goes against everything. But at the same time, like, when people are mad and no one seems to be listening to them, like I said, I'm not really 100% okay with, like, people rioting and smashing things, because a lot of the times these people are damaging, towns and cities that they're not even from.
Yeah.
So they won't see it, but, like, I get why people are upset, and, like, and, like, so many states, that still have these iconic, people from our history that were not good people when it comes to, what side they stood on for, like, helping the black people actually be free and things like that. And you're seeing a lot of people taking those monuments and things down, and protesters and stuff going about doing it themselves because their states and their cities don't want to do anything about it. And obviously damaging property isn't exactly something I 100% agree with, but at the same time, it's like, we've got these people that claim that they're in office to represent us, but yet they don't seem to want to do that. And so at what point do we just take it upon ourselves to get things done? It's been, like, it's just been a very interesting time, and there's a lot of lines that are being blurred, like, of, you feel a certain way about something, but at the same time, it's like, like, these people have really been treated like shit for so long. Do I really care that property is being damaged? It's like, like, I don't know. It's definitely a difficult situation, when you're thinking about it, but at the same time, it's like, people just are sick of it and wanna do stuff and want something to be done and want to be heard, and and I feel like it is actually happening much more than, like I said, I've ever seen in my lifetime. So seeing so many people active.
Yeah. So I mean, everybody, I don't even really know what else to say except support our friends, support our colleagues, our peers, our allies. Jesse and I are trying our best to be allies to the cause in the ways that we know how, and it's this is important. And if you don't want I mean, look, we try not to be political on our shows, right? Like, I mean, I know people hate it when people say that, but, like, we come here to talk about video games and movies and dumb stuff, and we come here to escape that, right? That's what this podcast does for us. But this is obviously this is way too important to not address. And I mean, we spent 45 minutes on the subject, so it's important to us. It's important. One of our best friends is, like, hurting right now, and Ed, he's I mean, not outwardly, but in private conversations you can kind of tell, I feel like, and I hate seeing our friends like that. I hate seeing our peers like that. I hate seeing people that we look up to creatively or inspired by, like, I hate seeing them going through this, and so
well, and just the fact that, like just because their skin is a certain color, there's that much less of a chance of them getting attention on, whatever platform they choose to be on, things like that. And, that's something that's also, I think, kind of somewhat, on the verge of possibly changing as well. But, it's just ridiculous. It's like for me personally, if I find something that's interesting and, well done and stuff like that, like those guys, it's not like I really search for a certain thing or whatever, but it's like, it's ridiculous that a whole swath of, a massive swath of people are just kind of like put in the background.
Yeah.
On certain platforms and stuff like that. And that's that's one of those things that, again, that me and you wouldn't really understand or know is going on had we not, been a little bit more, aware of things, and, and have like Zombie and stuff that we, can talk to about things like that, and like, have a better understanding of things like that. And, and I'm very thankful and, very honored to have, just even from the Black Lives Matter panel, like more people that we can hopefully do stuff with and, continue to learn from.
Yeah. And because just going off that real quick, like, it's nice to have those friends who are understanding of, quite frankly, our negligence and our uneducated view on this stuff, and how they have helped us, in the last not only few weeks, but since really since talking, like, honestly, when I started honestly really thinking about this is when Ray and Zombie were having that really very real conversation on the Boss Rush podcast, and it was just like this small snippet of it was probably only like a 15-minute conversation about being a black content creator. And like in the back of my mind, I'm like, I know that like black people have it way different on the internet than we do, right? Like I know that, but like it wasn't something I consistently thought about until now, right? And that was like the first very real thing that I was like, oh, like maybe I should start thinking more about this. Maybe I should start really paying attention and maybe trying to help do something about it. And then of course, like a couple weeks go by, and then I don't want to say I forgot about it, but I definitely like wasn't thinking about it the way I was thinking about it during that conversation, and that's on me, right? That's on me. And so, just to kind of like wrap up this conversation, I just want to say, on a personal level, like I'm sorry that I was so negligent and so kind of not on the front lines trying to help this cause. Khalif Adams on Kind of Funny Games Daily, when he was hosting, said something that I have been thinking about a lot for about 2 weeks. He said, that he feels kind of conflicted, right? Because he said that he really loves all the support and all of the people who are reaching out to him and all the people who are being allies now. But, he said he feels conflicted because he said, where were you a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, And Deshaun said something on Twitter that was roughly a similar statement. Like, people were reaching out to him, and he said that, he feels conflicted because, like, this isn't the first time this has happened, obviously, and like, but I, like, from just like a maybe I'm being naive, but I really feel like something is changing this time. Like I really
Mhm.
feel like the world is taking a stand, and
Mhm.
you know, to all of my black friends and peers and colleagues, I am sorry that it took this long for me to do something, to say something. So, uh, you know, that's coming from me. So I don't really know what else to say on the matter except for we have you. If you want to say something or do something with us or write or create with us, guest, whatever, it's an open invitation to anybody out there who feels like they want to do something and they can't be heard, and so.
Mhm.
But I don't know if you want to move on to Xbox or do you want to say anything else or you
Um,
know
I I don't really have a whole lot, to add to it, but like, like there, like like you said, kind of been obviously aware of, things going on and stuff, and like over the years, like honestly, to try to, I guess, do my part. There's been times where I've honestly, like, just complete strangers, that were black or whatever, or whatever nationality they were, whatever race they were, that I've just tried to have conversations with, and like, just try to be show them that just like any other colored skin person, I'm going to be me. I'm going to be respectful to you, and treat you just as well as I would anyone else. And I've had some pretty interesting conversations that way, with people.
yeah
And honestly, like, I think that that's something that kind of is something that you don't see a lot of people just trying to be respectful sometimes, and sometimes I've just tried to be my you know good mood, like just happy to be alive self to people, and like a lot of times, girls or whatever, or ladies that I just say good morning to, and they give me a look like I just tried to hit on them or something. And
that happens
at
more
the
often than not.
yeah,
you know
which it's just like, hey man, you don't have to give me a dirty look, but at the
which
same time, my understanding though
yeah
of things that women have to go through, unfortunately, has soured some people into not being able to take something like just a simple good morning or how are you or whatever as nothing more than that, because someone has done wrong by them, or they feel like there's a part of them that can't trust men, or because they had to go through something, either a trauma or something. And I've yeah, like right away you want to be upset or feel insulted, but we've also got to remember that we don't know what they maybe had to go through, and hopefully that attitude, or that something that will go away in time. But like that's the thing, is like we've been saying, is just having conversations and just listening and things like that, learning more about people, and things like that is probably the most important thing you can do right now,
yeah
is just trying to have community, trying to have you know just socializing and talking and having discussions. And like, I just honestly feel like that is the best way to go about it. Like there's this show with this guy that I had watched. He's African American, and his whole thing was he goes around making friends with people who are in the Ku Klux Klan. And he basically, one at a time, is trying to convert them away from it. And so he's like, I know there's a lot of people that really don't like what he's doing in his own, community and stuff. But he's just, what he's saying is these people are just, they don't understand, and there's an ignorance there that can be solved by literally just talking with them and helping them understand in some ways. Like I do think that there are certain people out there who just don't get something, and when they don't understand something, they're afraid of it, right?
Yeah.
And so there's nothing to fear if they understand something. And so for someone to help them understand is getting away from that fear, which then gets, like they realize and understand how stupid it was that they thought the way they did,
Yeah.
Like, and I know obviously that's not going to be everyone, but still, like, trying is better than not doing anything. So yeah, that's to wrap it up. I think just I've always tried to, like, just try to understand people. Like I've said, I've since I was young, I've always looked into like Native American culture, and like I've just always been trying to learn about things, and like I said, there's just still so much to learn. And honestly, I think, for me, just that part of doing this more is, I think it's going to be an amazing thing. And I hope, in learning stuff that we also, help and many other people learn stuff and can better themselves as well. So
Yeah.
that's really, really all I have left to say. Is like you, I think it's important, and I'm definitely looking forward to doing more of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was glad to like talk about this a little bit, because obviously, like like you said, we're mad, and there's a lot that we don't understand.
Which
But
I
at
think
the same time, it's like we want to talk about this and get it out in the air as well, and to vent ourselves as well,
Yeah.
But there's a time and a place for us to do it, and like when we did the Black Lives Matter panel, like that was their time to get what they need to get out, and didn't need to hear what we thought at that moment, because what they had to say was more important,
Yeah.
in that moment. So
Yeah. So, I just hope that everybody listens to that episode. It was very insightful, very real, but in, like I said, in a positive way, and was very, I'm glad we did it. So,
yeah.
Yeah. So, so welcome to Arsenal X, the Xbox podcast here, an hour in. We're not gonna do housekeeping today. It's past time's passed. So,
Yeah.
but if this is your first episode, welcome. Arsenal X is an Xbox podcast. But we had to get that out of the way. We had to. I've been trying to keep my mouth shut as best as I can the last couple weeks, and trying to like really focus it on helping our friends. So yeah, go listen to the Black Lives Matter panel. It's on all of our podcast feeds, our YouTube page, our website, Twitch, and Mixer channels for the next couple weeks. So Yeah, go listen to it. Go watch it. It was great. So
Yeah, it was amazing.
but also one more thing before we get started, we did open our store, our Redbubble store. So you can go there and get our episode 100 achievement unlocked shirt, our Arsenal X t-shirts and hoodies and stickers and whatever else you really feel like putting on our logo on. It's there. Very excited for that. It's redbubble.com/people/bossrushgames, or you can just go to bossrushgames.com and click on the store button. It should bring you right to the store. So I had a lot of fun designing the Arsenal X stuff specifically.
Yeah.
Just because, like, I don't know, man. Out of everything we do, the Arsenal X stuff is always my favorite in terms of design work.
Don't
Don't get me wrong. I like the Nintendo Switch PAL Block 200 logo, but I don't know, man. Something about Arsenal X is just everything. Just it looks so goddamn good, man. Like I love it. I love the shirts. I love the. I'm gonna order one of those lightweight hoodies, I think.
Yeah.
With our logo on it, so I'm very excited about it. So. Yeah. So
that tote bag thing or whatever looked, or not tote bag, but like there's those little zip up bags or whatever where you pull the string.
Ones? Yeah.
Yeah. That looked really cool with the AX pod on it.
Yeah.
It's really neat.
So it's man. It's I like the there's two different ones there, because like the only bad thing about Redbubble is like if you want a different color logo, you have to upload a different color logo and stick it on stuff. So like there's two of everything on there, like a charcoal one and a white one. But yeah, I like the pull string bags with the charcoal bag with the white lettering on it. Looks cool. So so anyways, we're gonna get into some Xbox talk. You know what? We're gonna start. Are you playing anything interesting, fun, cool?
I've been playing a lot of Minecraft Dungeons.
Yeah, how's that? How's Minecraft Dungeons?
I love that game, man. It's so good.
Like is it worth me downloading off Game Pass right now?
Yeah, it definitely is.
Maybe that's what we'll do for What's This on Game Pass. Maybe we'll do some Minecraft Dungeons tonight.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good because, I believe that is co-op. And, like, I had started playing it because I wanted to see what it was like when it first got released that morning. I played it after work or whatever a little bit. But then I've kind of been going back to it, and I just like the simplicity to it and how I don't really have I can just go in, have fun. It's kind of like we always joke about like Halo and stuff. I can just go and shoot guys and not really think about much. I can talk with me and you can talk, or I can do whatever, listen to music while I'm doing it, and I don't really have to think a whole lot. And I can just kind of enjoy myself without having to be stressed out or whatever. And that game is just so perfect for that. It's just looks amazing. Like
it's like
even
Diablo, right?
Yeah, it's very similar. You're taking the whole Minecraft, building, version of it, but all the blocks and everything just has a much more polished look to it. So things just look like the vivid, bright colors and stuff are very vivid and very bright, and accenting colors and stuff that they do in the worlds and things like that. It just looks so good. It just looks really good, and I can't help but think though when I'm playing that I wonder if like the true completely 100% finished version of the the Series X Minecraft will look like this, from that perspective of playing first person or third person or whatever. Because if that were the case, dude, it would be so much fun. But which that so yeah, so Minecraft Dungeons I've been playing. My kids are obsessed with it now. They both recently started playing because I have an Xbox in the living room.
Yeah.
My old original Xbox in my living room.
Yeah.
And then I have my One X here. And so one kid will be on this monitor playing and then one in the living room playing. And so lately my son and my daughter have been playing Minecraft, each on their own system, but they're playing in the same, world building together and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And my daughter, like today, she was all excited. She's like, Dad, come here. And she wanted me to come in the living room, and she wanted to show me this whole elaborate, like, area that she added onto her house. And, and she needed help with some stuff. And I was like, well, what if you did this? Because like her room was just just enough room for like on both sides of the room for there to be two beds right next to one another. I'm like, well, why don't we open this up a little bit so then you can kind of, have a cool area that you can go out. And so I made her like a gazebo, or not a gazebo, but a deck that comes off the top of the house. So it's like, like her room, like the doors that lead out to a deck right outside of her room. And she was all excited about that. And it's just fun watching them create and stuff and that. And so like I was playing that a little bit with them as well. So yeah, they both just been into Minecraft a lot lately, and I, it's kind of helping Max, figure out how to do all the enchantment stuff on your weapons and all that stuff. And he just all day long he's like getting excited. He's like, oh, I got a level 22, this or whatever now. And it's like, they've been loving it so much, just as much as I have, honestly. I've just been really enjoying that game. And then obviously playing some Tomb Raider for our book club stuff. So
yeah, I guess we could have announced that. Did we? I mean, I think we only announced that on the book club episode, but
yeah, I think that was it.
I think maybe we announced it last week too on the proper show, but
yeah, I think like maybe Ed or something in the Boss Rush or something like that might have mentioned it in the either in plugs, or I could have swore we had mentioned it at some point in something else, but yeah, I could be wrong.
Oh well. Anyways, for those who don't know, Tomb Raider Definitive. Well, the 2013 reboot of Tomb Raider is our book club game, and we're playing the definitive edition on Xbox One. So, yeah. How are you enjoying Tomb Raider? Because like I haven't played it since, honestly, like I own it on Xbox One and PlayStation 4, but the last time I played it was I remember I got Tomb Raider and DMC, the Ninja Theory DMC, on the same day because they came out real close together. And I played them on Xbox 360, and I haven't played it since.
Oh, okay.
And I thought I had. Like, I thought I played it on Xbox One, and then I had some achievements start popping. I'm like, wait, I'm pretty sure I played this. And I looked up my achievements. No, they're the 360 version of Tomb Raider. So, yeah, how are you enjoying Tomb Raider?
I love it. Like, I mean, I think it looks pretty good on, for being a 360, originally a 360 game or whatever.
Yeah, it is a little jarring because I do know they made a big deal of putting a new Lara character model in there. But like, she looks so different from everyone else because she looks so good, and everybody else is still like a high res 360 character model.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the characters aren't too bad looking though.
No, they're not.
Like,
They're
I
not
mean,
bad looking at all. I'm just saying, like, they are definitely. There's a quality difference in Lara compared to the others. So
I really would like to go back and play the Anniversary game too one of these days, just because still like throughout all of them, like, still the first Tomb Raider is, I think, the very first one on PlayStation is still one of my favorite games of all time. Just because, like, and I've said this, I believe, before on the show, but I liked it better when it was like you were fighting the elements. It wasn't about shooting other people. I just liked when it was like fighting the elements. You know, you had the wolves and you had the bears, and you know, it was just basically animals that you were having to go against while you were making your way through these caves and stuff. And a T-Rex, you know, which was really weird, but it was awesome though. When, like, that first time when that you could hear the like, and you're like, holy crap, you know.
Yeah.
I really just still have very fond memories of how much I loved that game, that first game. And then, like, when they started moving away from the animals into more of you shooting at humans and stuff, I didn't really care for it as much, but I do feel like this, like, maybe if they were going to go that route, what they needed to do was it needed to be a reboot that would really make more sense to me. Like, you know, like, I do really like this, you know, reboot of the Tomb Raider franchise. I like the stories. I like, you know, I don't mind that it's, you know, you're fighting other people, because they still have that, you know, that mystic, you know, side to it of where you're like you're like fighting against these things that are like mythical or whatever you want to say. But I'm really enjoying it, and like, we kind of talked about it a little bit before we started the show, but like, I think I like the first one of this reboot as well, probably the most out of all of them that we've played so far. And it took us going back to it to really recognize that.
Yeah, I think it's why I like Shadow of the Tomb Raider so much, because it really kind of mixes a lot from Rise with this first one, and it kind of it's more simple. But like, this one is more, I don't know, I like the simplicity of it. I like how kind of traversal and puzzle focused almost it is, instead of like you said, shooting guys every 5 seconds, you know. Like, I mean, there is some of that in this game, and sometimes it feels out of place, but like, I just love the puzzle element, and there's sort of like, you're just trying to survive and get off this island pretty much. And I love the series. I've always been an advocate of this series, even though people are more, you know, either leaning towards like Uncharted or Assassin's Creed or something of that nature. But Tomb Raider has always been a series that I have adored and championed. And
and I think it helps that both of us are also kind of Indiana Jones fans.
Oh yeah,
like, you know, like you know, and like, it's nice to see a female lead role of doing something similar to that. I think that, you know, that's always what kind of caught my attention with the franchise.
Yeah, and
But
yeah, the triangle boobs, is that from PlayStation 1?
yeah,
No, I'm just kidding.
yeah,
But in all seriousness though, like even playing Uncharted, I still think my favorite Uncharted is Lost Legacy. And
yeah.
I think I don't know why it is, and it's not like a sexual thing or anything at all, really, right? Like I just prefer to play as females in games. I love Gears 5. I mean, I love the direction they took Kate's story, and I'm glad they let you play as Kate instead of watching Kate's story unfold as JD like in 4. Not that 4 was bad or anything. I love Gears 4. I love the whole series. But I think Kate, I think we've been playing as guys in games for so long
Yeah.
that it's kind of like
just even movies and stuff about, a lot of the movies and everything of just, it's like always stuff focused around a guy character. And it's like,
and I think just seeing that for so long that like it's fun to see a different point of view. It's fun to watch something that's different than you, that, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I like Uncharted a lot. Like, I think it's a fun series. Nathan Drake and Sully are great characters, and their quips and stuff are fun. Like, if you have a PlayStation and you haven't played Uncharted, I think, honestly, Uncharted is a must-play series for PlayStation fans, right? But something about just, I don't know what it is, man. I love Tomb Raider. I love Lara as a character, especially when you get to Rise and Shadow, when she becomes more determined instead of, because in this one you're kind of watching her learn how to survive and how to be what she becomes in the other two games, right? But just seeing that character arc really is awesome. So, but yeah, I'm glad I changed, because like we were originally going to play Link's Awakening on Switch for this book club, and I was like, I do want to do that eventually, but I'm glad I switched my game to Tomb Raider. Just doing this, and like it controls so well. Like I love the controls. I love the puzzles. Like I don't know if you are doing the optional tombs. I don't know if you have done any of those. There's one towards the very beginning that I know I did, but
I don't know. Because those are ones that you have to get by, like, don't you have to clear something in order to be able to get in there?
Well, sometimes you have to go back once you upgrade some of your stuff. Like it does require you to go back, but
okay.
That very first one you can get to by shooting the lantern off and burning the cloths.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did do something like that.
So
somewhere, but I don't know if, and that's the thing is I wanted to try to go back and do kind of some of that stuff that I couldn't do when I went through it the first time. But I just want to focus on finishing the game, finishing most of it anyways, and I can always just leave the ending. And go from there and spawn, because like you do have that option to use the campfire to spawn different places or whatever, to fast travel or whatever. So but like, because I don't think I really did any of those the first time around either.
But yeah, I'm enjoying Tomb Raider, and sounds like you are too. It's a great game. And it's also only $4 on Xbox Live right now. If you are not playing it, what are you doing? Also, if you're more of a PC player, it's free on Steam still, the first one. So download it, play it. You playing anything else?
There was something. I jumped into Mario Maker 2. Just to kind of look at some of the newer stuff.
Oh yeah, because they added that world builder thing.
Yeah, I didn't really do a whole lot with it because I'll be honest, it's been so long since I played that, I completely forgot how to do anything in that game.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't really want to have to try to reteach myself right now
Yeah.
to do all this, but I just wanted to look at what everything that was in it and stuff.
Look, when that game came out, I put a good solid 3 weeks into that game and played it a whole lot, and then Fire Emblem came out, and I haven't touched it since. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I've kind of... Since Fire Emblem came out, I've kind of fallen off the Nintendo train a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I do play a lot of stuff on Switch still, but, like, I've been looking forward to more and more playing stuff on my Xbox. And, like, I know games you kind of ebb and flow with what you're kind of into playing, but, like, I don't know. Since I finished Fire Emblem, I haven't gotten into anything on Switch. And, like, I do want to play Xenoblade at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I downloaded it, and I don't know, man. I just haven't gotten into anything, and I kind of feel bad since I run our Nintendo podcast, but I just would rather be playing my Xbox the last few. And I don't know if that was like the rejuvenated kind of Arsenal X when we brought it back. I don't know if it's like just playing Halo and Destiny and Assassin's Creed and stuff again and Gears, but like I don't know, man. I love my Switch. I really do. The games I want to play are on Xbox right now.
Well, yeah, I think, and and that's kind of what happened with, kind of for me, and like, not to mention like some of the stuff that's come out in the past here for Switch, that I was really, really looking forward to, like had some issues and things like that, and so then unfortunately I put it off until it got fixed, and now I just haven't picked them up, so like that's the thing is like, and I don't want to like sound like I'm like making fun of them or anything, but it, like, I don't know, like just from like listening to people, like certain things that I've wanted to play and I've wanted to do, I just can't help but feel like Nintendo is doing everything right and at some point, but there's like, except for one thing that just kind of sticks out like a sore toe that like just stops some of their games from being like completely perfect. But unfortunately, it's like something that either in some way is very like important for the game to get the full experience from it, or it's just like some kind of decision that they've made that doesn't make sense, or like like I it sounds like like the new Pokemon, it sounds like they're kind of gonna be doing good on a lot of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
At least like as far as bringing some of the other characters that people wanted or whatever, bringing more of the old characters back into the game and stuff like that. But I'll be honest, I was a little like turned off by the whole like service thing of that and stuff, and I just thought it was really weird, and like I don't know, it just didn't seem very I don't know, like not user friendly, but like it just didn't seem like something that was completely worth the money and it like to do. And in some ways was still kind of like weirdly like hard to do, or not hard to do, but it was just kind of tedious things that you had to do to get like all your Pokemon from the old games and stuff onto it, as far as transferring and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like just stuff like that, because like I still do want to get Pokemon Sword and Shield because I think I would actually like this one more than the last couple that we've seen. But my problem is like I said, and it's like Luigi's Mansion 3 as well. I want to get that. I don't have that yet. Part of that, a lot of this too, is just money. And unfortunately, a lot of times when I do have money to get things, it's usually I get it on Xbox because, especially if it's something that's multiplayer or whatever, like there's a better chance of me playing something multiplayer on my Xbox than on the Switch, you know, just because that is a weak spot, for the Switch is the online stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and I think if they could fix that about Switch, their online stuff, I honestly think I would play it a lot more, and I would get games on there that are multiplayer a lot more if it was easier to do like a voice chat with your friends and things like that. Like honestly, I think we just got to a point where Switch came out with some really good online games, but it's such a hassle to try to do it.
Yeah.
You know? And
dude, trying to play Smash online or like even Mario Kart, like if you're doing tournaments and stuff, like
yeah,
part of the time you're not even playing with your friends, you're playing ghosts and they're doing like heats, right? Where like, okay, a couple of your friends are in this room and you're in this room with a couple of people, and like, you know, they do like a couple people at a time, and then they do heats and time, like best times will provide, like tell you what place you came in, you know, and it's kind of like, well, that's dumb. That's not, and like I get it. At one point, like I was like, okay, I get it, but now I'm just like, it's 2020. It's unacceptable, really, you know.
Well, and like, you know, I know I'd like to defend, you know, but I just don't understand because like as far as technology goes, Japan is so much more advanced than we are.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense to me. How is it that the internet or online stuff is the one thing that they can't figure out that we're better at apparently doing, or if it's just I don't know that, and that could be, I guess, like a money thing. But I feel like their internet has been faster and better than ours for a long time too.
Yeah, I mean, know. Most people's are, you know, like I think that's like the big thing is like our, like most places in this country, our internet sucks, right? Like there's people who still use dial-up. There's people who still in the middle of the country still don't even really have internet, right? Like that's a real thing. But I just so it's just like it's just maddening. It's like why? And I mean, now it's been out for how many years? Why can't you try to work on something, you know, over this time? Like I'm more than willing to look past it for the first year or whatever and a half, but you've got to actually be doing something though to try to improve those things. Yeah.
But I feel like it's one of those situations where they at this point they don't care. They sold a bunch of Switches. They did way better than they expected. And it's like, it's kind of like that thing that you see, unfortunately, a lot of times when a console is successful, they kind of back off of all these things that they kind of wanted to do because they feel like, well, we're making so much money off of them right now. Let's not even stick any more into it than we need to, you know. Let's just stick this money then instead into games instead of making some of these things that maybe aren't perfect better or whatever, you know. And we saw that with 360 as well, where there was just certain things that really sucked and they didn't, you know, didn't really put the time and effort into them until like way late. Like, you know, like people absolutely hated the dashboard and stuff like that are on the original 360 stuff, you know. And it took, if like people felt like it took way too long for them to make that better. Well, and even the Xbox One, I mean, like, look at how, remember how it used to be like super laggy and just really bad and slow?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, and now I feel like it actually for once is like actually works the way that it's supposed to now.
Yeah.
You know, things
Yeah.
like, you know, things like that. I mean, I don't know, but yeah, like, because that's the thing is I really do love Switch too, and I'm glad I got one. And there's, you know, like I said, a lot of games that I want to get for it.
Yeah.
But there's just these little things that unfortunately make things a pain in the butt for me to want to sometimes pick up my Switch
Yeah.
and use it.
Mhm.
And now, like I said, I've been trying to play stuff on it, because there is a lot of games that I have on there that I do like playing, but yeah, I can't remember. I was trying to think of, there's a game I bought just recently on it. It was a cheaper game that I got, and I just can't think of what it was right now that I was playing on it, but. I'll talk about that maybe next week because I.
Well, I mean, even
besides,
like,
I mean, this is Arsenal X. Well, I can talk about it.
it's crazy because like a lot of the indie games that are on there are on Game Pass also, and like just the way I've been playing games lately, like I would rather just download it on Game Pass and play it there, you know, and man, I would love to just, I don't know, man. If I was to have one platform at this point, like, I love my Switch and I love Zelda and Fire Emblem. Like, those are, and Xenoblade, like, those are like the must-haves on there. But, like, the games that I really love to play, like, Xbox is creeping up on Nintendo for, like, that spot, you know? Like, I don't know. I know they're different experiences, and you can only get certain experiences on one and certain experiences on the other. And like I normally don't do a very good job of viewing consoles that way. But yeah, I don't.
Well,
really...
and I mean, and I mean that's the thing though is we're saying this now, but when, you know, Pikmin 3 is announced, you know, when we. I think that's the thing is right now it's really easy to
plus
forget
we're like
how much we love those consoles because we haven't really heard much.
Yeah, plus the Switch is like 3.5 years old at this point, and the new Xbox is coming, and Halo Infinite is coming, and you know what I mean? Like, there's games for Xbox and a new system to be excited for, whereas like the Switch, the games I think that we're most excited for, besides Pikmin, hopefully, like are years away still. Like, like I think Zelda will probably be the next big release that I'm super excited for. I mean,
I cannot wait to be back in that world again.
I know.
I cannot wait.
I still pop that game in from time to time, and like I've been playing.
Too.
I've been playing a lot of The Witcher 3, right? But I've been playing it on Switch, and it's just such a great, like, it's not a Zelda like substitute, but it's a kind of like a, I don't know. I guess I would equate it to like somebody who smokes cigarettes and then they're like chewing the gum. Like, it's like the gum for the Zelda addiction. It's probably like
that's like I'm looking forward to Tunic. I'm really looking forward to Tunic once that comes out for Xbox to get my Zelda fix.
So and like I just realized more and more that like my gaming experiences, I like them to be social experiences too, and like Switch does a very, very bad job of making those things social. And like, where if you're on Xbox Live or Ed or, you know, my friend Mitch, calling him out. We were supposed to play Destiny last night, and he never got online. Jerk. Where were you, Mitch? Probably fell asleep.
Yeah.
He works a lot, so.
Yeah.
But I like playing games that are social experiences more and more lately, and even if it's like, even if we're playing Tomb Raider right now, right? Like, I still like to at least get in a chat and talk to people while things are happening, or. So.
Yeah, and it's just and it's a bummer that we have to use Xbox if we want to play something on Switch and talk.
Yeah.
We either have to use Xbox or use a Skype or use our phone or use our, like everything but the actual thing that we want to play our games on. We can talk on, like it's just a bummer. And like, and then some games that come along and showed us, hey, we don't need the stupid dongle and Fortnite. Showed us that we didn't need a dongle and we didn't need our phone to be able to talk with one another, and still nothing has changed.
Yeah.
Like I think that's it's just things like that kind of like have been disappointing.
Yeah.
But again, I'm gonna play in like, and it's fine because like I still use my Switch for like playing games with other people, but just doing a couch co-op, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I wanna get that 51 games thing yet.
Oh yeah.
Because I want to do bowling, which we could technically do that and chat while we're because that would be fun to do the bowling and stuff, and actually playing, because you can play with friends online against one another on basically all the games.
Yeah.
Like there's the Battle Tanks game looked fun, and stuff like that. So I kind of really want to get that. I had watched a review of it this morning when I got up, specifically of the bowling. I was curious to see if it was how well they did how good of a job they did with making it for that. And it sounds like it's probably as close as you're gonna get to the Wii bowling.
Yeah.
With using a new technology.
Yeah.
Because obviously that's the thing, is like the Wii remote versus the Joy-Cons are completely different technology for the most part. There's some similarities, but so it's still gonna feel different. It's not gonna be exactly the same.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it's pretty decent. And there's a lot of cool little games on there that I would definitely play. Like there's darts too and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. There's definitely a lot of stuff that will be coming out, I'm sure, pretty soon that we'll want to play on Switch.
Yeah.
But yeah, and just kind of with you though, it's like, especially with Game Pass, and when there's like practically a new game being added to Game Pass like every week, it's like, well, of course, my Xbox is kind of going to be where I end up going the most, because, I'm constantly have a list of games that I can just download that I'm paying a service for, so I might as well use it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I think that's the thing, is I have more money invested in my Xbox, so therefore I feel like most of my time is going to be spent there.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So.
Yeah.
But.
No, for sure. I mean, I mean, it's hard because, like, when Ed and I were doing, I mean, we obviously still do Nintendo Power Block, but when that was kind of like the only thing we were doing for a while, like I was getting everything on Switch, Yeah. I mean, when he was hosting Arsenal X, when we were with our old group, right? Like, I was trying to
Well,
make
and
sure.
your daughter was younger too at that time, so it was a much easier thing to do, play stuff
Yeah.
on Switch for you as well.
Yeah,
so.
like I mean, I played through Doom on Switch. I played through Wolfenstein 2 on Switch. I've played through multiple third-party games on Switch, and like as much as I enjoyed those experiences at the time, like really do feel like I missed something by not playing Doom on Xbox One X, or like even with The Witcher, like I still feel like I'm missing out on the Xbox version, right? Just because it doesn't look rough, but it looks old on the Switch. Where I have booted it up on Xbox since then, and like it looks 1,000 times better on the Xbox. And with all these games that just came out on Switch, like XCOM 2 and Borderlands and what was the other one? The BioShock collection. Like the only one that I feel like would be actually a really good fit on Switch is XCOM, because of the isometric view. It doesn't. It's not super graphically intensive. Strategy games are a good fit in handheld mode, I think, for me. So that's the one I was thinking about getting for Switch. And like I did want to try Borderlands on Switch, but I'm like, why? I already have all of them on Xbox. So I don't know. I was kind of disappointed that Kingdoms of Amalur was not announced for Switch, but then I'm like, well, it's going to be awesome on Xbox. And Tony Hawk, I think, is going to be awesome. And all these remasters that are coming, I'm so excited for these remasters.
Yeah, I know.
Especially because, like... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I've been really excited for the Tony Hawk stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just, because, like, I've been... Because, like, okay, like, I've played Skate 3 recently. I've played it off and on because my son was playing it for a while.
Isn't it on EA Access?
Yeah, that's what I got it through. So like I play it occasionally, but it doesn't give me that sense of joy that the Tony Hawk games did. You know? Like it's a completely different setup as far as button layouts and all that kind of stuff, how they do things on Skate.
Yeah.
And it works good. I mean, it's fine, but it was a little bit harder to get used to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm definitely excited to going back to those games and having a really good skateboarding game again.
Dude, I'm so excited for Tony Hawk 1 and 2. Like I'm so excited.
Now they just got to bring Cool Borders back.
Cool Borders, geez.
I loved Cool Borders.
Cool
And I want
Borders.
And I want Sony to frickin' bring Jet Moto back. Just bring it back.
I don't see why they could. Like, why couldn't they have like the Wipeout team remaster it? Right? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, what's disappointing the most? What's disappointing the most for me right now?
But that was better.
The most disappointing thing right now is like the big rumor right now is Bloodborne remastered.
Yeah.
It's already out. It came out on PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
It's already out. Just give them a patch. Like, just patch it in.
Yeah.
4K 60 frames. Like, I mean, granted, that game would be 1,000 times better if it had a stable frame rate, right? But like, you're gonna turn around and sell these people the same game.
Yeah, I seen that post on Twitter that where it said what did it say? It said Bloodborne remake, to be able to be 4K 60 frames per second, better looking, blah blah blah, and then they picked another game. I forget what game it was. Oh, the Gears of War, how they remember how on 360 or whatever they did a remake of it.
Yeah, they remade it. They remastered the first game,
Yeah.
It was just a graphical overhaul. It still played the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, they did it the year before Gears 4 came out.
Yeah. And then so then it said, and then it says on the Microsoft that game, playing on the Series X, and it's gonna do all those things that it's gonna do for Bloodborne without having to remaster it.
Yeah, because I think they said it's like through the AI machine learning stuff, it's gonna be up-res to 4K. It's gonna kind of patch in HDR. And hopefully run at a higher frame rate.
Yeah,
which makes sense
higher
because
frame rate
the version of that game on PC runs at 60 frames a second and is in 4K.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that patch never came to Xbox, but
yeah, I don't know, but it's just, well, and I mean, I get it, because like Sony, there's a lot of things that they just did not have foresight on when they were making the console.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
honestly,
neither did Microsoft though. Like, I mean, that thing was supposed to be online and only, and backwards compatible wasn't supposed to exist like ever. And they kind of brute forced those emulators into the Xbox One.
Yeah. Well, but I think the thing is though, like they had some tech foresight, like obviously, like look at, like all the thing with them being able to change screen names, you can change your screen name and stuff whenever you want to.
Yeah.
But the way, Sony did things, there really was no supporting, beyond a certain, beyond a point, because they didn't really have any foresight in the way that they were doing things, or and I feel like that was kind of the same way, because I mean, to be fair, I mean, the PS4 Pro doesn't even do real 4K at all. So I mean, that's probably part of it too, is just because they literally don't have any real 4K games that they've done, whereas the Xbox One X made it where they had to patch games for true 4K because that's what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And, so, I mean, that's probably part of it too, is just because, I think, we kind of forget that they don't actually have a system that does 4K yet. Yeah. Like actual 4K. So it's, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Of a situation. But I mean, that's the thing though, is, so does that mean that maybe they've just been kind of working on doing patches for once the PS5 comes out, that they'll just they were like, well, we should probably just not worry about doing those for the Pro.
Yeah. Because
it already sounds like an airplane taking off on certain games.
I mean, mine, I don't even know how mine stays on, honestly. When I did plug it in the other day to get the free PlayStation Plus games, which kind of sucks because I have World War II on PlayStation now because it's the free game on PlayStation this month. It's World War II and Battlefront 2 are the two free games, which are two actually really great free games. But yeah, I wanted to see what Spider-Man looked like.
Yeah,
I want to give those games another shot. I want to give Spider-Man another shot. I want to replay God of War, and I want to finish Horizon's Frozen Wilds DLC. Those are like the three things I want to do before I put my PlayStation away. And I turned God of War on, and I wasn't even like fighting any enemies. I wasn't even like doing anything, and I had it on performance mode and not resolution. And like I couldn't even hear my TV because it was so loud. I had to plug in a headset to hear what was going on.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Yeah, I want to play Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, it's so good, dude. It's far and away my favorite PlayStation exclusive. And like
Yeah.
for me, like if that second game came to PC, like honestly, I don't know if I would even buy a PlayStation 5. And like that sucks because like I really want to play the next God of War, but like why would I buy a console for one or two games? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, well, and seeing that's the situation I was in with the 4 in the first place.
Yeah.
But now that I've seen a whole generation of that console, and I have games here and there that I can kind of pick and choose that I do want to play that are on there, and the fact that they're trying to do backwards compatibility of some sort is like there was a point where they said backwards compatibility. Who cares about that? Well, had you not done it, me for sure would not probably have been buying your PS5 because, that's not. I don't buy PlayStation consoles anymore until after the generation is done because like a lot of the times their games that they have just don't speak to me like the majority of people who like PlayStation.
Yeah.
And so the fact that they're doing backwards compatibility, I can sense the PS2 actually buy a PlayStation console when it first comes out,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of excited about, PS5 and learning more about it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still part of me that's like, I don't know, should I wait maybe a couple of years first before I get it and, just see kind of what they're, I guess it all depends on how this, moving forward here this year, how things go as far as what they have to offer and show. Because right now, Microsoft and with, all their new studios and stuff now, and I know, a lot of people aren't as impressed or interested in some of the things we've already seen as I am, but but that's just it. I am. So like,
Yeah.
I cannot wait to play Grounded. That game just looks like it's going to be so much fun, and I cannot wait to play, Halo and Hellblade 2, and like there's already a bunch of stuff that's coming out soon, to in the very near future, that I already know that I'm absolutely going to want to play day one, and so I'm already sold on an Xbox, and and just the fact that everything that I already own is going to be backwards compatible. And now hearing that, Phil Spencer talked about adding even more games to the list of backwards compatibility stuff. Like I'm already know that if I get the new Xbox today, that I am already going to, in the first year, get a really good use out of it.
Yeah.
And I just can't say that yet about PS5 until I know more.
Yeah.
And it's just a bummer that, with everything that's kind of happened lately and stuff, and they kind of, it's not that big of a deal. We can learn about games whenever, but it is kind of a bummer that they did nothing as far as like telling us anything, and then they finally decide they're ready to tell us stuff, and then like all hell breaks loose,
right,
and in the world and stuff, so
yeah.
But yeah, it's just been a really weird year, honestly, for Sony in general, just or console release year, I should say.
Yeah. No, I mean, I am excited. Like, I know a lot of people are excited for The Last of Us Part 2 in a week and a half or 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
I honestly am not one of those people. Like, I don't think I don't, like, I've said this before, like, I've only played a little bit of the first one.
Mm-hmm.
But I just couldn't do it. I'm just not into it. And I would play I would play a new Uncharted game every year if they put one out, but I just can't do the Last of Us, right? And so I didn't really care about Days Gone. I didn't really care about Death Stranding, but I mean, Sony has stuff that I like, right? Like I like God of War, I love Horizon, I love Uncharted, and The Order was awesome. And I hope that rumor that Ready at Dawn retained the IP and that the sequel is coming to Xbox Series X, because that's been a rumor going around that Ready at Dawn is building a sequel to that game, and that first game is not very good, but it's interesting enough to where I would want a sequel. And I really wish they would have just ripped off Gears of War wholeheartedly, because it was a third-person cover-based shooter with a lot of quick-time events and a lot of heavy exploration and storytelling.
Yeah, man. QuickTime events.
Yeah, they were.
Can we just get rid of those?
I know.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
I know. So
even in Tomb Raider.
I know, there's so many of
back
those.
to Tomb Raider, playing that again.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh man, I
Yeah.
don't like this anymore.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just bad, man. Like I like The Order. Like I like the characters, and the story was super interesting. The alternate history mixed with supernatural stuff, like I thought was really awesome. A lot of werewolf dongs in that game, though. Like
that's right. I think I heard about that.
Yeah, it's like that
was one of those games that I never really caught my attention when it came out. You know, like maybe even if I might even just, that might be a good one to check, like a stream of like someone playing it or whatever, like watch a playthrough.
Yeah, I might play it
and
again,
just get it,
because I think that would be an interesting, because the platinum trophy is pretty easy, I think. So, but I got the collector's edition. I actually have a Galahad statue up there on my shelf, and it's cool. So yeah. I don't really know where I was going with that, but yeah, I'm really excited for me. Xbox is, I'm all in on Xbox right now. Like I'm excited for them to wrap up the this new Gears trilogy with 6. I don't know if it'll be, I'm assuming it'll be the end of a trilogy, and Gears will live on in another, kind of like Judgment, where they have spin-off stories and stuff, and tactics and all that. I'm excited for Halo Infinite. I'm excited for Hellblade. I'm excited for what I think the Perfect Dark game the Initiative is working on. I'm excited for the Fable game that Playground is probably working on. I'm excited for the next Forza Horizon game. Which I actually just re-downloaded Forza 4 because I've been wanting to play it, but
dude, okay, we can definitely play that one day too, like just drive around and stuff.
Yeah.
That would be fun too. I haven't, because I don't play that nearly enough with either, so.
Yeah. I'm excited for, a lot of people forget, like, Microsoft bought Obsidian. The Outer Worlds 2 will probably be a Xbox exclusive. Their next project, which I mean, Grounded, obviously, but they have a third project in the works that, like, what is it? I think In Exile's Wasteland 3, and their next project has been confirmed to use Unreal Engine 5, which will be awesome. Psychonauts 2. A lot of people forget that game's coming out, and hopefully a remaster of the first one. Out of all the games, like I think that first game would do really well if it got a remaster.
Yeah.
So.
The Psychonauts. Yeah. That would be cool. Yeah, they well, and like they're like, and even just, I wonder at some point if, like, when the new console comes out, they'll still be making new stuff for Sea of Thieves, because that game, like, honestly, I'm just completely impressed with how much time and effort they've put into that game, into improving it over the last, like, however many years now or whatever.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like, they're constantly adding stuff to that. And, like, they're already, like, talking about soon, I guess already the Jungle Awakens DLC for Minecraft Dungeons is coming out. It sounds like soon. and
What,
stuff.
like July? I think they said.
Yeah, I think so. Not quite sure. I was just kind of looking at stuff here when we were before we started the show, but yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, man. They just like Microsoft just seems to, Xbox just really seems to have a good grasp on things and are, don't let like a bad press or bad review of a game when it first comes out like phase them. They just say, okay, well, we definitely can do better. And they've busted their butts. Rare has done an amazing job with Sea of Thieves.
Yeah,
like that game is such a masterpiece.
Which is another game I want to play with you and like go through that story mode, right?
Yeah. That's the thing, is there, like, there's just, man.
One of these days, I just want to take the weekend off from life and family and stuff, and we just play all these games all day for like charity stream or something. Which is something I wanted to do too at some point. But
what I could do, what I should maybe do is, like, I don't know how your Fridays usually are, but
I mean, I work until but I don't know. We usually try to do something with my kid on Friday evenings, like something. But I mean, I could probably wiggle out of it if we needed to do something, or
Well, I was just thinking if like even if I just took like a Friday off 1 week.
Yeah.
And, of work, so then I could actually do something on a Friday, and then we can still do stuff then on the weekend like we normally would, with our families and stuff like that. But just even, just having that one more night that we could possibly do something like around the time that we would normally record this or whatever, but just on a Friday.
Yeah, because like on Fridays I've been going to bed early because I've been getting up early on Saturdays to play games before they wake up.
Yeah.
Which has had its ups and downs. Like yesterday, last night I was playing Tomb Raider and I like kind of fell asleep while I was playing because I got up so early.
Yeah.
So, but it's been beneficial for the most part. I mean, that's how I beat Control. I just got up early most mornings and blasted through it. But
and I try to get into work so I can get home early and play, but a lot of mornings that hasn't been the case.
Yeah,
like I got home and I'm just like, man, I would like to start that, but if I start that now, even if I stop after playing an hour, it's gonna be like 5:30 or whatever in the morning, and I really want to get to bed because I'm hoping, like I said, this week now, starting, the kids will be in daycare for a while, and then possibly summer school if that ever happens. I don't quite know what's going on yet with all that.
Yeah.
But it's just a lack of a solid schedule, because now they're always home. It's either they're being babysat by my sister, or I'm getting up a little bit early to get up with them or whatever. And so like my schedule is all weird, and so I don't have just like a, like if you're sleeping at the same time and you're getting up at the same time, you kind of set this like, nice path of like everything just kind of feels better when you're on a schedule. And when you're not on a schedule, it's just like you just kind of feel lost and weird all the time, and and it's just like some nights, like on the weekends here, like I have, like, I could technically be staying up for like 5 more hours of just playing games. But a lot of times I'll just like, my schedule's all weird, so I'm like play games for a little bit and then I'm just like, man, I'm
Yeah.
really tired.
Yeah.
So,
That's
but
I would love to like I miss the days where like I mean not that I mean I don't want this to come off saying I don't love my family or anything, but like I
no,
miss the days where I would like come home from work and like play games until I went to bed, and like
dude, when I used to work the 12-hour shifts and it would be 2 days on, 3 days off,
yeah.
where it was 3 days of me having the day off, but my wife was still working because it was during the week.
Yeah.
And I would literally just sit all day and just play Call of Duty. It was so bad, but dude, was that amazing? Just being able to just sit for a whole day and be like, do I want to stop and do something around the house right now? Nah. I'll do it later. And then,
Like
would do stuff later, but it was like I could just sit around all day.
yeah, every year my wife asks me what I want to do for my birthday and I'm like I want to play video games all day. And she's like, "You don't want to do something fun?" I'm like,
That is fun.
"That is fun."
Yeah. Well, that's like my wife, for Mother's Day, like all she wants is to be able to just have one day where she can sit in her room and just watch whatever shows she wants. She wants to sleep. If she wants to sleep for a couple of hours without having to worry about what the kids are getting into, that's all she wants. She just wants to be able to do what she loves, and not have to worry about the kids for a, majority of the day.
Yeah.
Now, usually what she'll do is then like we'll all have dinner together or whatever. It'll be like from the morning until dinner time. She's got the whole day to basically do whatever she wants, and I take care of the kids. Like that's what she wants. Gives me a chance to spend some time with the kids, and gives her a chance to, do what I kind of get to do with you guys when I'm talking on the show. Like just be able to just relax and just talk about what I love and not worrying about the kids when I'm doing this sometimes. But because she doesn't get these nights like this where I can just watch whatever shows I want or whatever at night before I go to bed, or she doesn't get that. And so like I do try to do that for her occasionally if she wants a day where she just wants to do her thing and I can take care of the kids. I'm all for it because I want her to be able to have that time to just be, have alone time and do her thing as well. So
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
so
Um,
yeah, this is a very very weird episode.
yeah. Yeah, it's
But
fine. I mean, this is the like these are the kinds of episodes I like to have though. I mean, I don't
yeah, occasionally just have one where we're just kind of being real with like everyone that's listening right now. You're just basically listening to what a regular conversation
but like
between us would be.
I wish our shows were more like this, like I do wish they were more like this. And I don't know, I don't know, I think Power Block is the way it is, like I said earlier, like because that's just the way we've been doing it forever. But like if we're gonna talk about Xbox, let's just talk about Xbox and the games we're playing. And like, okay, if something interesting is happening, like you brought this up when we restarted the show, like if there's a news topic, let's just bring it up and not like read the article. Let's just talk about it. And it's I would rather just do that. But
and that's and I mean the thing is too is it's really easy for us to kind of do this right now this way because very soon here we'll actually be getting some real legitimate stuff to talk about. It's still kind of in a holding pattern for Xbox as far as what we have to look for the future. In a lot of ways still, but I'm definitely looking. Oh, and that's right. I forgot. Yeah, No Man's Sky is coming to Xbox Game Pass as well, for console and PC, which I'm excited for that because I still haven't played No Man's Sky.
I know
And I want to experience it really bad.
I thought about buying it because it was on sale for when the winter sale. I thought about getting it, but I got Ghost Recon instead.
Yeah.
And Watch Dogs 2, and I still haven't played either of them.
Oh, you haven't played Watch Dogs 2 at all yet? Okay. I really like Watch Dogs 2. I know a lot of people did not like it.
Yeah, I don't
But
like.
I really
Watch Dogs
like
is a weird season or a weird series because people like a lot of people hate that first one, but a lot of people swear by that first one, and then the second one is like the complete opposite. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I actually, that's right. I just played it recently. I played the second one a little bit. I went back to it.
I think it was
and I've also been playing Saints Row 3. So yeah.
Yeah. I think Watch Dogs, like the base version was like $8, and then like the $100 version with all the DLC and stuff was like $14 or something ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
just recently or whatever.
I ended up getting all those, and then I ended up getting the Division 2 for $3 on Xbox when it was $3. And I still haven't played through that either.
Yeah, that's a game too I would like to play through. I think
I would like to play through the first one's story again, honestly. I mean, I know like it's kind of old now, but
yeah, there's a couple of games that I'd like to play through.
yeah.
But I just had to check something. Yeah, there's a couple of games that I'd like to play through again. You know, like you said, like I still occasionally I pop in Zelda and I play Breath of the Wild. You know, like I could have probably beaten that like 2 or 3 times at this point.
Yeah.
But I just go in and just enjoy going around and exploring the world.
The only thing preventing me from replaying Breath of the Wild is the fact that I did all 120 shrines and got all the Korok seeds.
Yeah.
Or else I would have started over by now and played it
all.
again.
Yeah.
But I like seeing my stat sheet like on the loading screen. It says Korok, like the Korok seed thing. It says 900. I'm like, I did that.
Yeah, and you finished like all of the DLC and all that too, right?
Yeah, I did it. I literally have 100% on the map, like on the map screen where it says how much you've completed.
See, and I haven't quite finished all the DLC stuff yet. Like I didn't get the motorcycle horse thing or any of those kinds of things. So I still technically have stuff that I could do to try to finish it, which I probably should. Like part of me though not doing it is because that like the I really do hope that they do the battle mechanics a little bit better this time around. I don't know that it will be, but
yeah,
I don't even know what you would do to fix it, but it's just there's just something that's off about it sometimes. Like I think it's like when you're locking on things or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a perfect game by any means. It's just there's a lot to like about it, I think. And I mean, it's with any game, right? That's kind of like there's things that you don't like about every game, but there's enough there to like that kind of overcompensates. You know, like the weapon degradation stuff, I hated. The dungeons I think are the weakest in the series. Like the 4 main dungeons are pretty weak. Yeah. But that world and the shrines and just the story stuff that you find and some of the challenges are just make that game worth playing and why it's still one of my favorite games of all time. So.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely the open world, the way that they went about the exploration of the, being able to climb everything and being able to, just so many little hidden things all over the place. And like, because I feel like sometimes like a game, obviously needs
needs it to be, heavily populated with buildings and things like that. But I think why I liked this so much is they had that perfect balance between having, like heavily populated areas that have like things in them and stuff, but then a lot of it that was just completely open and really wasn't a whole lot going on. They just like perfectly placed like enemies and things like that, so it was like never a dull moment from going from one place to another, no matter how far you traveled.
Yeah.
Like it always seemed like there was something to do, even in the most boring, dull looking areas.
Yeah.
So I think that was really what I liked about it, is just the exploration. I've just never played an open world game where I cared so much about what's at the top of that mountain, or what's over there, or
Yeah. I mean, it does a really good job of like rewarding you for exploring,
yeah.
So.
And like the dragons that show up at certain time periods of the day that are just like magnificent looking, and you can, you shoot them with an arrow and you break a piece of their scale off, and then boom, you've got this scale now that you can either sell for like a crap load of money, or you can use it to make, upgrade certain outfits to make them stronger. And like there's just that was such a cool experience that first time that I learned about the dragons, and like how to get the scales, or what part of their body you needed to hit in order to get the best, part of their, to upgrade certain things. Or still, like, it's amazing, the whole shooting star thing where you have the star fragments that just come raining down, and and the whole process that you have to go through to hunt for those pieces, because you got to get there before they burn up and grab it, or otherwise it disappears. And like just those little things like that are just so cool and just done so well that it's such a simple thing that anyone could have did in their games, but they haven't.
Yeah.
So
but anyways, are you playing anything else?
No, I that's pretty much it. Like I said, I did remember that I was played a little Watch Dogs 2, just because I felt like going back to it for a little bit, and Saints Row, which I love. I love Saints Row 3. Me and Pat played it together, and he showed me this, like, the really quick way to get money. Because as if there's a way to cheat the system in a game, Pat will know it, and I'll find it out from him. Because there's, like, I guess there's some glitches and stuff too that you can do in the game to get certain things. But it like literally the one getting a lot of money, there's just the airport, and there's these pillar things that go out into the water.
Yeah.
That are at the end of all the runways.
Yeah.
And basically all you got to do is you go in their like little hover bike thing that looks like something from Jet Moto, and you just got to fly sideways through them, and all of a sudden it does this, like, it stacks up a times thing, and then it gives you, like, I think it was like $40,000 or something like that every time you fly through it sideways. So like you just can keep on doing that and just keep racking your money up. So like we were just playing some of the story missions and stuff, and then did that a little bit, and we're just getting some money because he had some stuff he wanted to upgrade, because he's practically upgraded everything in the game already.
Yeah.
So but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool.
It's fun though. It's a good game. I love Saints Row 3.
Well, I've played a few games. We already talked about Tomb Raider quite a bit. I've also been getting back into Destiny pretty hard. Been playing that. I've been trying to do a lot of the cleanup quests, I guess you would say, trying to I don't know. I had a lot of quests left over from previous expansions and stuff that I had completed with other characters, and now I'm just trying to like with my Titan, since my Titan's my main on Xbox. I I did a lot of these like on PlayStation before this cross save stuff was happening. I was playing a Titan on PlayStation and a Warlock on Xbox, and then I started a Titan on Xbox, and I don't know. Titan's just like the most comfortable I am with a character. So I've been trying to clean up those early quests, and we'll have to do some of them together because some of them require 2 people or 3 people or whatever. That one weapon we were trying to do that the Outbreak perfected one where we were jumping through the underbelly of the tower and stuff. And then some of them are like the very basic quests to get very basic guns, like the multi-tool quests. Like I have that gun, I have like 4 of them, but I still have to do the quest because it's in my thing. So plus it's an easy way to kind of level up right now.
Yeah.
So I've been grinding out those quests, and I'm waiting to play with you so we can finish the Shadowkeep stuff. Because that new season starts this week.
I think I had done. I played a little bit more the other day too.
Yeah.
At some point, I played a little bit of it. And I had gotten a whole bunch of like exotic stuff that I don't know what I got it from or for. Oh, you know what? There was this stuff through Twitch. I think that's.
I know the grenade launcher.
Which it looks really cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, I haven't been keeping up on what weapons are good and what the perks are good and everything. Like I used to keep up on all that, and I just haven't. I just don't. just haven't had enough time to care. So. But I am playing a lot of that lately, and I'm also playing a lot of Halo, honestly, multiplayer, 5 and the Master Chief Collection. I just swap between the two and play, and Halo's still fun, man. I mean, we talk about this a lot. Like I'll play it and then I won't play it, then I'll go back and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot this game's really fun, and then I like the movement and stuff in Halo 5. I think it's really fun with the dash mechanic and the like when you're jumping in the air and you're about to hit someone, you hold B down and it's more of like a dash down onto them and to take them out and the assassination stuff. But then you go back to like Halo 2 and 3 and it's just really simple Halo, no sprint, Halo 3 is actually very slow. Like I was actually like put off by how slow Halo 3 is. even almost compared to Halo 2. Like Halo 2 is a little bit faster than Halo 3, and I'm like, I just want a sprint button, guys. Just let me run.
I remember when 3 came out, it did feel like you were almost having to relearn how to play.
Yeah.
And maybe that was it. Maybe it was just it was a little bit slower or something. But I just remember like at first not really knowing if I really liked it.
Yeah.
Like at first I was like, I don't know if I'm really into this.
Well, at the time
on this game, but then I absolutely started to love it as I got used to it.
Yeah, at the time I loved Halo 3, but now playing it now I'm just like, man, this is slow. Like it just even compared to like Reach and 4, it's like super slow. So but I have been playing a lot of Halo multiplayer, and then obviously we finished Control because we did the book club last week. So that episode is up on the Boss Rush podcast feed, although I do need to put it on here too since it is an Xbox game. So I'll try to get that up here at some point. But so yeah, that's kind of it. Nothing new to talk about. I am quite excited to be playing Tomb Raider, though. It's just so much fun. I play a little bit of Gears also. They have that Gridiron mode, is really cool.
Oh, okay.
It's basically just like capture the flag, but it's a little bit more aggressive, I would say.
Yeah.
So it's a cool mode, though. I highly recommend it. And if you do a lot of the challenges, you get the Thrash Ball coal. So
Yeah.
if you didn't pre-order it or buy it already. Man, speaking of like, I know they said Gears 5 wasn't going to have microtransactions in it,
Yeah.
but you can buy like combat packs, which will give you like all the skins for that season. And
really?
they're like $20 a piece for like 6 character skins and then the weapon skins. And it's like, man, that's like you could be spending like literally hundreds of dollars on Gears 5 if you wanted all the characters. Like, it's
Yeah.
insane.
Although I'll give it to them that like in Call of Duty and stuff like that, you can pay almost that much for just one skin for a character and one skin for a gun and one icon or like just like a little pack of just a few things. And you can spend almost that much money in that game sometimes.
Yeah.
Depending on, so like, at least you're getting a bunch of skins and stuff like that. But still, I mean, I still think that you'd be better off selling something like that for $5 and having almost everyone who plays the game still buying it, versus only some people who absolutely want it buying it, because like I sometimes think that that's where some of these things go wrong. Is I think that they would make more money if they actually did sell it for stuff for reasonable price.
Yeah.
Because I'm really, I'm more likely to buy something if it's like $4.99,
Yeah.
something, for a pack of something or whatever in a game.
Yeah.
I've done it before, but once you start getting up into like $15-$20 for something, it's like, I could buy a full game for that much.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Especially on Switch, there's a lot of really good games a lot of the time for only like, $6 or whatever that are on sale. And it's like, instead of buying one skin for some guy in a game that I can't even guarantee I'm going to play a whole lot, I'd rather just save that money and get a game on Switch for like a quarter of that, or whatever, because Switch is always killing it with the deals as far as sales go. But
yeah. But yeah, that's all I've been playing. There was some stuff that we could have talked about, but we're coming up on 2.5 hours of talking about nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, is there anything you want to talk about before we get out of here? I know that Destiny Live event happened, which was, I did kind of watch it a little bit while we were talking about other stuff just now, but it was kind of uneventful.
Yeah.
The almighty ship is now gone. So the Red Legion ship is blown up and is gone.
Crashed. Yeah.
So,
didn't it crash onto the planet or whatever?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, and it looks like the teaser trailers for the stuff that's being revealed on the 9th. So by the time you watch this, it'll already happened, or listen to it or whatever. So that stuff, I think it's the season of the return or something, season of the something like that. So
okay.
Looks like the big fall expansion, we're getting a new planet, which is really exciting, which is something we haven't gotten since
Nice.
Destiny 2 launched with Titan and Nessus. So very exciting to see Europa, which is one of the moons of Jupiter, the ice moon of Jupiter, which was actually supposed to be in Destiny 1 vanilla. If people remember the concept art for Destiny 1, the first piece of concept art they released was this snowy
Yeah.
mountainous region and the Fallen kind of patrolling it. I remember that image so vividly. It's actually the second page of the Destiny 1 art book is that concept art.
Oh, okay.
So it looks like we're going there, which is
Nice.
neat.
Finally. And that's maybe that was like, is like, you know what, we have all this assets and all these things that we had worked on, you know, for the first one.
Yeah.
And, you know, like maybe they just really wanted to make sure that they did it right.
Yeah.
Or, you know, maybe it just tech wise,
Yeah.
you know, and all that in the beginning when the first one came out, they just really didn't have a good enough grasp on how to design that specific kind of world like properly in game. And they, you know, maybe just took some, because, you know, you hear about developers all the time when they're building stuff and doing stuff that, you know, on paper the concept works, but once you start trying to build it in a game, it can get to the point of where you have so many issues that you've got to deal with that you just got to scrap it.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that was one of those things that kind of happened with that, if it just was like they just could not put the time that they needed into trying to fix all the issues to make it work
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Eris Morn is doing in that trailer, and I do not know what the Drifter is up to, because I honestly haven't been keeping up. I know there's been some kind of some faction war type stuff going on in the lore, but I haven't been playing enough to keep up with that, so I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, because I do want to get back to that game and play some, so.
Yeah. So, but other than that, it's pretty slow, and a lot of people put stuff on hold because of the, you know, the protests and the.
Yeah.
I know that Bungie was actually talking about moving their stuff from June 9th because that's the funeral of George Floyd. So
Yeah.
I know that that's happening. So
Okay.
I guess we'll find out. So I'm sure we'll have a lot more to talk about next weekend because of all the things getting delayed, and IGN stuff is next week and everything. So very exciting times, I would say. But we're gonna wrap the episode up. I want to thank everybody for watching on Mixer and Twitch. You can watch us live at Boss Rush Games Live on those two platforms. If you can't join us, you can go to our podcast feeds on any podcast service of choice and look for Arsenal X, the Xbox podcast. You can also search Boss Rush Games, and you can download all of our shows from there. And check out our website, bossrushgames.com. Also, I encourage you guys to watch the Black Lives Matter panel that we did this weekend. It was a great time. Again, obviously, we talked about it for almost an hour at the top of the show, but please go listen to it. Those creators are fantastic, and obviously
Good.
the audio is on all of our feeds, and all the links where you can find them are in the show descriptions. So please support them. Please follow them, give them your love, and it was a good time.
And check out their content. You know, like
Yeah.
there's a lot of good stuff there. So
Definitely. So, Jesse, where can we find you?
you can find me almost everywhere as Phantom NXS.
Yeah, and you can find me at I am Corey HD on Twitter and Instagram, Corey HD on Mixer and Twitch, and you can find me over on Nintendo Power Block and regular episodes of the Boss Rush podcast. Check out 1v1, check out Standard Definition, check out our podcasts. They are fun. We put a lot of work into them. We appreciate it that you would do that. And big milestones coming up for all the shows. So very proud, very happy. Check out our store on Redbubble. You can go to bossrushgames.com and click on store, and it'll take you right there. Very happy with the way the designs look. So, also the episode 100 Arsenal X shirt is going to be a limited run thing, and the episode 200 Nintendo Power Block will be a limited run item. So if you want to support those episodes, you can go there. They'll be up for about a month or so. So check them out. And I want to thank everybody so much for watching and or listening. Check out what's on Game Pass, our Let's Play show for this show. It's a good time. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And until next week, we're gonna throw up the X because we are exiting out. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.